Passport Bros or Andrew Tate? Hello, everybody. I'm Kazaki with today's 5 Minutes of Wisdom. And yes, we have been gone for a while, but we are back and we're going to be giving you new content. If you're familiar with our channel, we give you biblical wisdom to show you how to apply that practically in your day and life. Okay, if this is something you like, if this is something you're interested in, please like, share, subscribe. And I know we're going to get into these controversial topics, so please comment. I want to hear what you guys have to say. And I know these topics can get very strong. And today's topic, we're going to be talking about the imbalance of what social media and what Andrew Tate has shown us, what the Passport Bros have shown us. We're going to talk about this because this is a strong topic. The word influencer literally means to influence, simple. And this is what's happening in social media. Andrew Tate, on one hand, is influencing the young men, and or the Passport Bros, or Pearl is influencing the men or the women on how to think. And this builds a narrative for the next generation. And unfortunately, a lot of people are influenced like that. A lot of young people, they're influenced off of these things. And when you look at the logic of all the peoples I just named, plus more, everybody jumping on the bandwagon, the question is, where are we going wrong? And I think we're going wrong due to the imbalance in the way people think nowadays. Let's jump right into this. Isaiah 55:8, it tells us here, my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are my ways your ways. One of the biggest problems is that everybody is coming from their own mentality. You see a lot of hurt. You see a lot of how they were raised. Now, a lot of us were raised to one extreme or the other. The wife might have ruled the husband in this certain household, and now that narrative is being taught. And you see a lot of hurt and pain going back and forth when it deals with these subjects. I think that when it says my thoughts are not your thoughts, it's to remind us that the way we think, the way we process things is wrong. And that if we start processing them the way the Creator does, a lot of the hurt, the pain, a lot of the chaos, a lot of the I have to go across the world to get a woman, or I have to be this macho man to wear and overexert myself with swagger and with carnal things instead of the things that really matter. And this is what we're talking about today. The imbalance of social media, the influence that is influencing us the wrong way. So check this out. I'm going to go directly into this. This is Proverbs 11:1. It says here, a false balance is an abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight. So this false balance, you're going to go to one extreme or the next. And I think when you look at the new generation, whether they put on the macho suit of Andrew Tate and they go to the mentality of him, well, you got to have money, you got to buy your woman stuff, you expect her to do all these things. That's from the logic of this man. And I'm definitely not trying to give you my logic. This logic, our logic is imbalanced. And it is balanced out when we have the mind of the Creator. And this is why the book has been given to us. And I know this is a strong subject, but a lot of people have to submit because of this. How is your life? How many marriages, how many boyfriends, how many things that you've gotten wrong? And I know myself how many things I've gotten wrong until the wisdom of the Creator entered in my life. So wisdom means correct application of knowledge. Once again, what knowledge do you have? Okay, because I always say that. What knowledge do you have? And then is that right knowledge? So a false balance is an abomination. And this is what we see, either one extreme. you're going overboard to the next. Now, I do agree with some things, like when you look at Pearl and you look at the men telling these women, hey, your numbers are up, you're sleeping around, you're going out there hoeing out, you're going out there sleeping with all these men. What value do you bring to the table? Okay, and I know that's another subject we can hit on the other time, but here's the thing: men are doing the same thing. And this is where the imbalance is, that if you are the man and you claim to be the leader, well, then we have to lead with example. And that's what the Creator tells us. That's what the word of the Most High tells us. And see, this is why everybody, their own opinion, there's so many opinions, because they're not going what the Creator said. They're going by their own mind. Now, that brings us to this point. Check this out. I'm going to show you the logic of the Creator here with 3 verses. Okay. Now, this is Ephesians 5 in verse 22. Okay. Ephesians 5 and 22. Wives, submit yourselves to your own husbands as unto the Lord. And this is where women get jumpy and a lot of people, well, I'm not submitting. Well, in essence, we have to learn this. We all have to submit some way. We all have to submit. This is not just the female. I'm going to show you. This is verse 28. So ought the men to love their wives as their own bodies. He that loveth his wife loveth himself. Verse 28, right? Now let's jump to verse 25. Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ loved the church and gave himself for it. So if you give yourself for something, you are submitting as well. So there is not an imbalance within the logic of the word. The imbalance is in the application of the word, and one person applying one side or the other person applying the other side and not applying all the full picture. And this is the problem that we usually have with man. It's not the word, it's not the Creator that's faulty. It's our application that is faulty. So if you look at these verses, it's telling us there needs to be a balance, right? The man has to do his duty and his job. And like I said, I agree. Yes, the man has to buy stuff, but the woman has to buy stuff. The man has to work. The woman has to work. All these things that we need in society, if we're supplying male and female doing their job, and this balance is set out, then there wouldn't be one person that feels less. There wouldn't be one person that feels greater. There would be a balance in their order, because I do believe what the word says. 1 Corinthians 11 and 1. It says, the head of every man is God, is Christ. The head of Christ is God. The head of man is Christ, right? So God, Christ, man, women, and then we know the children. And this is what we forget, that the children are watching all these things. They're looking at us perform these things in our daily life. And when we don't perform them correct, it brings confusion. And that's why we have the new generation, what? Over masculine. They don't respect women, because that's the narrative being painted. But then women don't respect themselves, because that's the narrative. It's either one side or the other, and then they're all going to war, not seeing why everything is in balance, because they're not using proper wisdom. I do have to say this, that I can run with this topic for hours. So I ask that you like, share, subscribe, comment. I know it's going to be heated, but let's get into this conversation. This is 2 Corinthians 8 and 13. It says, for I mean not that other men be eased, and ye be burdened, but by an equality. See, the Bible teaches an equal balance, and it teaches us how to be balanced properly, whatever office you have in your house, because we have different offices. We have to be mindful that, first of all, the children are watching. Am I too extreme? If you got the over macho man, then your son is going to be over macho. He's not going to know how to respect women and to actually condescend and be a help And what I mean condescend in the proper term, of the righteous term, which is give himself to the duty of being a husband and submitting to his job in that arena. And then the wife doing the same thing, submitting to her job in the arena as a wife, right? Remember, I want to repeat it again. It doesn't mean anything about taking them out of their order, just like a corporation. Yes, they have to work together. Yes, there's a president of the company. He might have the last word, but we're working together. We're working together for the company. Same thing in your household. So I want to hear what y'all have to say. There has to be an equality in the households. And we're going to talk about these other topics too, that the pearls, that the Andrew Tates, that the passport bros are talking about. Because I think when it even comes to the sexual nature, we got to talk about that, male and female. So like, share, subscribe, and thanks for listening in. Shalom. Wisdom, wisdom, should the wisdom.